Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for stopping by the channel. So for this video, we're going to be featuring a very nice pilot's chronograph from the German manufacturer Laco. Now, if you're like me, you've probably got introduced to this brand with some of their more affordable pilot watches that leverage quartz movements or like a Miyota 8 series automatic movement, but were still very good quality. I will say though that Laco also produces some more professional timepieces, and this Kiel Sports chronograph definitely fills that gap, and I would say it can even compete with some Swiss luxury brands like IWC. Now, funny enough, this timepiece wasn't even on my radar. I actually saw this on the wrist of someone else at the recently held Toronto Timepiece Show, and I joked around and asked if they would sell it to me at some point, and lo and behold, a couple weeks later, this watch entered my collection. Now, I should mention that the retail price for this timepiece in its standard configuration is just under $2,900 US. And if you go to the Laco website, you can actually make some small tweaks or different configurations for an additional cost. And I'll walk through some of that when we go through some more of the details about this particular chronograph. With respect to the dimensions of this watch, it is slightly larger. You have a 43mm case diameter. If you do flip the watch to the side here, the lug-to-lug distance between my thumbs is around 51.3 millimeters. And then with overall thickness, I measure it at 14.6 from the bottom of a screw-down case back, which also has a sapphire display window for the movement, and then to the top of a slightly double-domed sapphire crystal that does carry anti-reflective treatment on the underside. But because it is domed, you still have some reflections at times. Now you can actually spring for a little bit more money and provide it with anti-reflective treatment on the top side of the crystal too, but this one only has AR on the underside. Now between the lugs is an even 22 millimeters. Laco supplies it on a very nicely made German strap that's very thick and sheer cut, and it tapers from 22 millimeters at the head of the watch to about 20 when you get to the Laco signed buckle. I like the fact that this buckle is sandblasted in the same format as the case, and this does help resist scratches, and even though this is a second-hand watch, it looks almost brand new to my eyes. And here's a quick in-studio wrist shot just to give you a sense of how this watch could wear on a 7.5-inch wrist size, which is 19 centimeters in circumference if you use the metric system. And I say that it does have really nice wrist presence, and even if you have like a 6.5-inch wrist, you could probably pull this one off. In terms of weight, it comes in at 111 grams supplied on this leather strap, but I have also enjoyed actually swapping it out for different strap options as well. Alright, let me engage the chronograph while we talk about some of the other features of this watch. So, very nice detent, and you can see the chronograph starts up right away. The automatic movement that is utilized in this timepiece is a Sellita SW500, or they call it like a Laco 500 movement. If you flip it over, you can see that the SW500 is based off of a Valjoux 7750, but it has some advantages, including a 56-hour power reserve. It still ticks away at 4 Hertz, has 25 joules, and you can actually spring a little bit more money and get this in a top grade. But in this current configuration, it's an elaborate grade movement with a Laco signed rotor, and for me, it's nicely finished for the price point. Now flipping back to the dial side, you can see this chronograph has 3 sub-registers as well as a day and date complication at the 3 o'clock position. Note that in the standard configuration, the date wheel is in German only, but you can actually spend like an additional $80 and swap it out for an English date wheel. For me personally, I don't mind that it is in German. This is a German-made watch, and I definitely wanted to get that Flieger feel from this particular timepiece. At the 12 o'clock position, you have your chronograph minutes, up to 30 minutes. At the 6 o'clock position is your chronograph hours. At the 9 o'clock position is your constant or running seconds. And then because I did engage the chronograph pusher, your central seconds here is your chronograph seconds. I should also mention that this watch does expand upon their Kiel Chronograph lineup, but because it's considered a sports model, it is meant to be more robust. It is equipped with 100 meters of water resistance, and it also has a dive-style unidirectional and 60-click bezel. You can see on the side profile, the teeth for the bezel are very easy to grip and operate, so let's give that a listen. Very satisfying detents, extremely precise, and the alignment is spot on, which I like to see. Also being a robust and sports watch, it's very well lumed, so you're getting good legibility even in low light or zero lighting conditions. So I'll give you guys a low light shot now. Everything is blasted with C3. That includes the ceramic bezel insert, as well as the hour markers, and the hands, and even the constant seconds hand on the 9 o'clock subdial, which is really, really cool. I think Laco always does a really good job with the lume, and this watch is no different. Now, if you do depress the 2 o'clock pusher, you can see you stop the chronograph, and then the reset is at the 4 o'clock position. Everything just snaps back into place. I will say that the tactile feel for all of the pushers and the crown is very pleasurable. It's a nice 8mm crown, very well knurled. It's only a push-pull crown too, but granted you still have 100 meters of water resistance. But being a non-screw-down crown makes it very easy to manually wind up. And then if you pull it out one click, you can quickly cycle the day and date. And then if you pull it all the way out, you're going to be able to hack the movement and adjust to any reference time that you want. So who's this chronograph for? Well, I think this watch actually competes very nice with some Swiss luxury brands like the 43mm IWC. It's extremely well made. You're still getting a lot of heritage with Laco celebrating 100 years. You get some very nice subtle features like thermally blued hands, excellent lume. The sandblasting and finishing on this case is second to none considering the price point, and a very high quality leather strap. If I was going to suggest any potential points for improvement, I do kind of wish they went with a flat sapphire crystal just to help resist any type of reflections, but that could also be mitigated if you paid a little bit more money to get the anti-reflective treatment on the top of the crystal as well. And outside of that, I would just say be cognizant of the size of this watch. It does wear true to size, so if you do have a smaller wrist, you might want to look elsewhere. But that's my overview for this Laco Kiel Sports chronograph. As always, I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments section of the video, and if you do enjoy this content, please consider subscribing. It really does help me out. So that's going to wrap up this video, and as always, I can't wait to catch you guys in the next review.